Welcome to Week 2 of UDL and Apps. My name is Kendra Grant. Providing multiple means of engagement is now the first principle of universal design for learning. It is the why of learning, and its main purpose is to help students become purposeful, motivated learners. The affective network that handles engagement isn't as localized as the recognition and strategic networks, but rather part of a complex system that regulates a variety of functions including emotion, behavior, and memory. Neuroscience confirms that our emotions, needs, moods, interests, and even our physiological states, such as hunger or illness, influence what we learn and remember. The affective network interacts with the recognition and strategic networks, layering emotion over the what and how of learning. It can often interfere with learning. Individual resilience, a student's toughness, varies widely. What might be perceived as an exciting challenge by one could be considered a threat by another. The goal of UDL is to help students build resilience as they learn to manage and motivate themselves. Creating a safe learning environment that includes reflective practices will help increase students' self-reliance and self-efficacy. Let's look at each guideline in detail, what it means, and how you might apply it in your educational setting. The first guideline under engagement explores how to provide options for recruiting interest. This principle lays the foundation for students to move from extrinsic motivation and control to intrinsic motivation and self-regulation. One way to recruit interest and build autonomy is to provide students with choice. Let students choose the tools and resources they will use, the design of the products they will produce, and the order of the tasks they'll complete. To promote ownership of learning, include students in the design of some classroom activities and help them set goals for their own learning. Minimize threats by providing calendars and schedules to highlight classroom routines and create a predictable environment, but also include novel and spontaneous activities to make learning memorable and fun. Find non-threatening ways to include every learner, such as options and support for public demonstrations of learning. Explore ways to make learning more relevant and authentic by including tasks with a real purpose, important enough to be shared with a wide audience. For example, build and publish books, collect and share data, or create shareable open education resources, as we are doing in this course. To go deeper, consider incorporating project-based learning into your instruction. In PBL, students don't go find out about a topic and report back. Instead, they actively solve real-world problems and collaboratively develop a solution. Polling tools such as Poll Everywhere are great for assessment, and they also offer students the opportunity to vote on an assignment's deadline, select from a choice of activities, or even to give input into the design of a classroom activity. Shared calendars provide students with instant access to an updated class schedule, supporting time management, and for students who need it, warning of any changes to routine. Today's Meet is another tool to give students a voice, especially those who might not speak out in class. However, if you do use these text-based tools, consider ways to support students, such as giving them options to compose their comments using word prediction or text-to-speech, or the tool could reduce interest and increase threat. There are many apps that support the collaboration necessary for project-based learning. Tools such as Pinterest, Trello, Evernote, Flipboard, Microsoft Office 365, and Google Drive, just to name a few. The second guideline under engagement explores how to provide options for sustaining effort and persistence. The goal of this guideline is to encourage learners to persist in the face of difficulty and give their best effort in all situations. You have most likely seen someone so engrossed in an activity they are oblivious to others or time. Perhaps you've experienced the state yourself, what researchers call flow. Boys playing video games come to mind. However, sustained effort and persistence can be encouraged in all curriculum areas through the inclusion of hands-on and minds-on learning activities, such as designing and building models to explain concepts, or the use of manipulatives to explain and solve problems. Games and gamification, like the inclusion of competency-based badges, such as the ones in this course, can both outline goals and help the learner sustain their effort to reach the goals. One way to provide options for sustaining effort and persistence is to post classroom goals and review them frequently. Help students visualize outcomes by providing exemplars that reflect a wide range of interests and backgrounds to help students recognize what good looks like and to build their self-efficacy. To vary demand and optimize challenge, consider as you build your units of study what is essential to know, important to know, and nice to know. Help students work collaboratively. Provide them with rubrics and discuss the skills they need to work collaboratively both in person and online. Finally, build informative assessment that provides timely and specific recognition and feedback. This helps students view learning as a growth process, and it helps them better understand their strengths and needs as a learner. Although there are SMART goal apps available, consider ways you could make the process less text-dependent, perhaps using a graphic organizer program or image-heavy presentation tool such as Haiku Deck. Explore your district's LMS for ways students can meet up, share, plan, and complete tasks virtually. Consider the Google tools we are using in this course, either alone or embedded in your LMS. For example, have students work within a Google Doc, commenting and editing in real time, or create Hangouts for students to collaborate in a virtual environment. To increase mastery-oriented feedback, consider apps such as Socrative that include a variety of options to provide real-time formative assessment. Another tool more directed at younger students is ClassDojo. This tool is a fun, visual way to encourage students with instant feedback and visual reports. This last principle is all about students' internal dialogue and how educators can facilitate it. It asks teachers to help students continuously check in, to be metacognitive about their motivation levels, their stress levels, their behavior and reactions, and then apply various strategies to both cope and excel. Help students set personal goals related to learning and behavior, and then build in support to help them stay the course. Build reflective practices into instruction. Writing to learn strategies such as exit tickets and learning logs support this iterative, reflective practice to build metacognition. Consider including mindfulness strategies and concepts such as Carol Dweck's growth mindset to help students understand that with effort, they can change their mindset and they can change their brain. While apps such as Remind 101 help manage communication, homework, and deadlines, the onus is on the teacher to ensure everyone is kept in the loop. To transfer the responsibility to students, consider a complementary app such as Study Habits, or even the app Forgetful that includes multiple means to record ideas. A related app that focuses on the development of positive habits for success is called Habits Pro. It provides learners with visual and graphic representation of their growth as they develop healthy social, school, and personal habits. Grid Diary provides writing prompts to help students focus on their accomplishments. Something similar could be created in Paperport Notes, which allows students to record their thoughts in text, images, and voice. Finally, you could create something similar using Google Forms or even a simple table in Google Docs. Engagement is more than external pressure on students to conform and perform. Its ultimate goal is to help students build an internal GPS. By intentionally including options for recruiting interest and sustaining effort and persistence into our instruction, and explicitly addressing and guiding the development of self-regulation, we help students become purposeful, motivated, lifelong learners. Now that you've watched this webinar, please make sure to click on the Engagement tab on the course website at soukforlearning.com for this week's tasks, as well as additional resources. Our Twitter chats are on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the hashtag #Souk2015. Our Open Office Hangouts are on Thursdays at 4 and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if at any time you have any questions about the course, please email us at soukforlearning@gmail.com.